This is Mukali at work. She had the full praise of her employer, Mrs. Ashene. Mrs. Ashene and Mukali met under no strange circumstances.
I got a house girl from back home, from my mother. I got a CS, my baby, my first baby. So since I couldn't hack it on my own, I decided to ask my mom for a house girl. The CS took a toll on me. It was really hard for me to do stuff in the house. I needed someone to help me out with the baby, someone to help me out with the dog. I have a dog. Help me out with the cuckoos. So it took days. She found one. She was a Kamba. She was called Mwikali. Mwikali was really good, as in good as it gets. She would do stuff in the house that I had never seen before. I had house girls before, but she was polite. I remember at a point in time, I needed to take the baby to the clinic, the first injection, everyone knows, and I couldn't walk. Mwikali was there to support me. She took me to the hospital, just like a sister would. She helped me out. She held my baby when my baby had the first injection. So I really appreciated the fact that Mwikali was in my life. Mwikali was on top of things. Imagine, I'd wake up in the morning, napata mkate imepakwa blue band, che imeshaka kwa nini, kwa meza, na mkate shatostiwa by the way. Yani, she gave me a nice time. If the baby would cry like this kidogo tu, Mwikali was hapo fast. Anachukua mtoi, anamchange, anaosha mtoi. She'd clean the house from juu mpaka chini. Paka if food mwagika's chini, you'd so eat it. I loved Mwikali. I never thought Mwikali would change by the way. I never. If I needed anything, I'd just say Mwikali, and Mwikali was there. Bap. That was how Mwikali was. By the way, we'd go for a function, and I wouldn't even be with the baby. So people were like, "Wasumeza juzi? How come sauna mtoi?" Because of Mwikali. Mwikali would just stay with the baby, and I wouldn't care. As in, time will just while away, na mitu niko zangu. It was just nice. People would try to poach her by the, as in, they'd see there, I'm so happy with the girl. I'd go out with my businesses and not care about the baby. Okay, not care really, but people were really jealous. I remember there's a neighbor of ours who tried to give Mwikali more than I was paying her. But apparently Mwikali loved me and loved the baby. She never got to leave. The time she started changing, I never noticed. Never even thought it could happen. It had been a while since my husband was around. Mwikali started asking if there was something wrong between me and him, because she thought, why wasn't this man coming around? She'd ask me, are you guys still alright? Do you guys still talk to each other? Or is something wrong? I didn't understand her at first, but I was really shocked one day when she asked me, did your husband ask about me? Have you ever told him that I work here? So I was like, why would Mwikali ask so many questions about my husband? Why would she delve in so much about him being around or not being around, us being okay or not being okay? I was shocked. Mwikali kept on being like that, like all the time. It really didn't grow into me or enter my head that Mwikali had an ulterior motive. There is this one day I found Mwikali folding my husband's clothes, and she'd lift up her trouser and ask, does this still fit him? In a kapoa? She'd go wipe his shoes. That was the best part. She'd wipe his shoes like daily, but still ask, si zinazeeka, atavaa siku gani? Zinamtoshea bado? Ama amenona kidogo? So I was like, Mwikali is asking too much about my husband. Kwani what's wrong? Nini mbaya? Yani Mwikali just shocked me. All the time, mzee yuko, mzee anakuja, mzee ako poa, ako mgonjwa, kwani amuongei? She was like that all the time. And it started stressing me out. There's a day I found Mwikali with our family photo album. She was going through it, like seriously looking at it, and I'd see herself asking questions, but she didn't voice out. Then later on in the day, she asked me, was that your husband I was seeing in the pictures? Does he still come? Is he still coming around, or he's not coming around? Mwikali really shocked me. Then later on, she started talking about how she'd love going out. She'd ask me, do you and the husband go out? Then she started insinuating she'd love my husband when he comes back to take her out, at least ndio wajuane. I was like, what? Do you need to go out with your boss for you to know your boss? So I assumed, my husband is not around, so chick, you can talk all you want. You can ask for all the crazy things that you want to ask. Bora he's not around. Bora, even if he comes back, he'll never take you out anywhere. So Mwikali continued, as in too inquisitive about my life, my husband. And sometimes he figured a point, I started thinking, is Mwikali here for my husband, or is she here really for me? Well, I'd say, let me see how it goes. Bora, my husband wasn't around that time. It didn't matter. So my hubby came back after that long while. And it was just awesome, you know? Sijamwona hizo siku zote, amekam. Naweza imagine mimi nimemiss. It was just awesome when he came back. So he planned that we should go for an out, a dinner kidogo, me and him. Kumbusha ourselves, the lovey-lovey we had kitambo. It was nice. We went to a restaurant that he had made reservations. Good food. Awesome, as in awesome ambience. We danced out the whole night, kumbushad ourselves the way we love each other, then came back home. I remember that time we came back at 4ish in the evening. We found Mwikali but the baby was crying. So I asked Mwikali why the baby was crying. I went to the room, asked for the baby. Mwikali refused, said, you go rest, I'll take care of the baby. I had gone back to the sitting room, but the baby still went on crying. So I decided, let me go check out and see why the baby is still crying. Mwikali had told me she's gonna take care of the baby. What I saw, I sincerely didn't believe. Mwikali was breastfeeding my baby. As in, my world just broke. It was just painful. It was so painful. I screamed out loud. I didn't notice that my husband heard my scream. So he came down. Luckily, he didn't see what Mwikali was doing. He told me all would be well, though all wasn't well. Something had changed. Mikali was breastfeeding my baby. That was so unnatural.
Mrs. Ashena became a helpless spectator in the scenes she had created. This was her breaking point. The good had already become bad, and now it was inching closer to the ugly.
I didn't believe it. How could Mikali do this to me? I thought she was the best. I thought I'd found the right girl. It was my baby. Why was she breastfeeding my baby? What had I done? Where had I gone wrong? I couldn't fire her though. She was still good. I thought she still had that good part in her. So I decided maybe to give her a chance. I told her not to breastfeed my baby again. I will do it myself. I decided I'm gonna do everything for my baby. Mikali changed. Mikali changed everything. She started doing short skirts. She would walk to the sitting room in short skirts, pull her skirts out, try making conversation with my husband. All that time, I didn't know what to do. Everyone would tell me, fire that girl, but I couldn't. I don't know what held me back. My husband would say, fire that girl, don't keep her any longer. But I didn't. She would just stay around.
As if their lives didn't have enough drama, Muikali supplied some more.
Mikali changed, like, completely. She changed her wardrobe. Clothes changed, as in, she would do very short skirts. Normally she was, from back nyumbani. She didn't know what trousers were. She didn't know what short skirts were. But she would do very short skirts. Then come to the sitting room, pull up her skirts, move. My husband started saying, please fire this girl. But my baby loved the girl so much. My baby loved Mikali so much that I didn't see me firing her. I didn't see the probability of me staying with my baby without Mikali. She wouldn't hear me. I'd talk to her. Mikali wouldn't listen to me. The only thing that Mikali wanted was to talk to my husband, bring food to the table just for my husband. She'd bring in food, and then she wouldn't bring in my plate, just my husband's plate. Or if she was bringing in drinks, she'd bring only my husband's glass and not bring my glass. So instead of arguing with her, I just go pick my glass. Stuff went on like that. My sister-in-law came over. She was supposed to stay with us for a while. My house girl told my sister-in-law that she dreamed that my husband would stab me with a knife and walk away holding her hand. Found it funny. She'd say that back from home in her village, there's a house girl who used to live in Nairobi, and the wife to the boss passed away. So apparently the house girl inherited everything, a car, a house. So in a way I thought maybe that was what Mikali thought she'd inherit. Time passed on. My husband went back outside the country, and I was left with my dear Mwikali. She was still very rude. She wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't do anything I'd ask for. Everyone kept on telling me, fire this girl. Stop having this girl around. Why are you having this girl around? One night, like 2 days after my husband left, at 2 p.m. in the evening, someone knocked. Like a very loud knock on my door. Boom, boom, boom. Like, who is it? Mwikali talked and said, toka nje. Toka nje nikuue. Toka nje saizi. So I was like, Mwikali, what's wrong? Toka nje nikuue. Unaringa na bwanako sana. Lazima atakuwa bwanangu leo. I thought, should I open the door, let in Mwikali? But then my instinct told me, don't let in Mwikali. She might be serious. She might keep her statement true. She might really act out what she's saying. So I called my sister. Luckily, my sister was a neighbor. I called my sister, told her, please use the spare key that you have, open the door, and come with a watchman and see what Mwikali wants, because she's knocking at my door and really screaming out that I should toka nje. So they came and found Mwikali really had a knife, and she really wanted to enter my room. So they had to wrestle the knife out of Mwikali's hands. I didn't know Mwikali could go that far, sincerely. I didn't know someone would be so bitter to a point of deciding to kill her boss just because her boss is married or something. I learned from the neighbors, but that was after, at 3 p.m. that same night I threw Mwikali out. I really didn't care where she'd go. I didn't want to know where she'd go sleep or where she'd go. I threw her out. The police took her to a cell, and I learned that outside there she'd tell people that she's gonna be the boss of the house. She'd tell my baby, apparently, according to the rumors that were going around the estate, that I was to die and then she'd take over my baby. She used to tell my baby that once your mom dies, you're too young and you'll forget that she was your mother. I was shocked. People do harbor hard feelings. People do harbor bitterness, and apparently Mwikali couldn't bear a child of her own. That's why she had all that bitterness.
Mwikali went to Langata Women's Prison, where she was trained in tailoring and fashion design. She got out after serving for 1 year and got married to a single father.
Kwa Mrs. Ashenes kulikuwa kuzuri, walikuwa na nyumba kubwa, walikuwa wamebarikiwa, kila kitu wamepewa, magari zao, alikuwa na mtu msupu sana anaitwa Esther. Alikuwa walikuwa tu wamebarikiwa sana. Alikuwa ananipenda, nilikuwa namfanyia kazi vizuri, lakini kuna time nilitake advantage ya kufanya hiyo job. Na nakumbuka alikuwa ananitrust sana, lakini nilienda to the extent ya vile nilikuwa na job nake anampenda, lakini nilienda to the extent of kutaka seduce husband yake, navaa tu mini skirt hivi ndio at least tuende date na yeye. bila kujua vile alikuwa anapenda, yani nilitake tu advantage ya love yake na wife yake. Unajua huko ushago tulikuwa tunaambiwa ati ukikuja huku upate watu wako na do hivyo utaget kujuana na Hazi, akupatie keja na everything, alafu hizo mali zote zikuwe zako. So mimi nilitekio advice na advantage ndio nitaki kuwa wife, nibaki at least na Esther na Hazi yake, ndio maisha yetu ikuwe tu poa vile nilikuwa nasikia tukiwa Ocha. Lakini nikaenda prison. Nikiwa prison niliconvert na nikakuwa Muislamu, na nikajua enyewe ingekuwa mapenzi ya Mungu kwa hiyo dhambi ningefanya. Kwa hivyo saa hii life yangu imekuwa poa sana, nilipata Hazi after tu nitoke prison, na saa hii life iko poa kabisa.
Sometimes I do feel for her, but sometimes I do feel for myself. What if I learned too late? What if? But I thank God, Mwikali didn't succeed.
Terrified about the idea of another house manager. She had to move to another neighborhood because the stories going round weren't pleasant to her ears. She would never easily come to terms with why Mwikali became who she had become in their lives, and it wasn't easy to forgive and forget. She has then moved on, too scared to employ another house manager.